Happy Martyrs Day. Isn't that what I heard this morning? The left, who cannot acknowledge, who has never ever failed in the recent history of television to tell us that the popular vote means mandate, is now telling us how to think, talk, say. We're on Veterans Day, and I wish this was, it's because of last week. And I'm going to tell you a story today about Veterans Day, a true story about my New Mexico senator who had an aide who went to my Carlsbad, New Mexico school in the 1980s. Us at the VFW were hosting a party for Veterans Day because Veterans Day is about celebration of those of us who are alive, who are still friends, to get together. We may have not seen each other all year long. About inviting anybody who's a veteran out of the community. We gave away free hamburgers, hot dogs, the whole 9 yards. And this senator's aide hijacked the entire event with collaboration from the city of Carlsbad, New Mexico. We didn't know this was taking place till it was happening. We were in charge of our own day and our own event. Until it was happening, did we know what was going on. So they go, hey, Mr. Larison, you, your dad, and your wife are going to be the grand marshals of the parade. I thought, man, that's wow, I'm proud of that. To be to share the grand marshal position with my family, who all have earned the position as veterans, all as combat veterans. There is a difference between veterans and combat veterans. And for those who are just veterans, and I don't mean to put the word just out there, but there's just a shitload of animosity when you can't join a combat organization. It's different. The communications, the silence, what we don't let out. Combat organizations tend to be secret organizations, not because we got a lot to hide, because we got a lot we don't want told. We don't want to communicate. We used to not have things like psychologists coming at us who have never served a single day in combat. Who've never been in 5 years of nothing but stress due to op-tempo because a Democrat had a thought on how to save money in government where they've never saved a penny in government before. They just figured out how to save it on one balance sheet to put it in a different balance sheet and then spend even more than you saved. That's been my experience for the last 35 years. If you've done different math, let me know. I haven't seen it. But this senator's aide had a friend in high school who happened to be there during the bombing in Lebanon. It was a Marine that was caught in the bombing. It happened to be one of their classmates. So they hijacked the day. Not just anything, the day. So we start out as the grand marshals of the parade. We start approaching the parade. Everybody's telling us they kind of took over things, didn't keep us in the loop. They told us what was happening. Hey, we got a couple 64 Mustang convertibles and stuff for, to lead the parade. So we start approaching the parade, and we think we're going up to as the grand marshals, we're going up to the first car, right? No. We were the fourth car shoved into the back seat of a Dodge pickup. You can't see out a back seat of a Dodge pickup. You couldn't see into the back seat of a Dodge pickup. Who was in the first car with the things? The king and queen of 1984's homecoming for the high school. Then we make the parade route. As we're going down the parade route, here's all these people with these signs held up with death dates on them. It's like, my grandfather died in World War II, blah, blah, blah. Wrong day. Veterans Day is about friends and family getting together. The support network that exists, it's about a barbecue. Veterans Day is the day to barbecue. Hey, I appreciate it, Vengeance. I'm pissed off, Vengeance. Give me a second. So, I'm watching this morning, and the left is out there going Martyrs Day. And this is what triggered me again, because this isn't new. Like I said, way back when, it was 10, 12 years ago, they were holding up these signs of this death day, trying to take over this thing, this Martyr's Day, by the left politician who took control of this. So we make our parade route down to Veterans Park. Veterans Park, paid for by the veterans. You know, the land was donated to us, but we put up all the decorations and stuff and made it Veterans Park. We got plaques. My family and there's family and friends were on the plaque down by the river and the wallways, and carved in stone forever is my name. I've actually shown those pictures up there before. Should have got that picture out for today. But that's not the point of today. Today is not about the past. Today is about the day. For everybody to understand what is going on in our country right now. They're not getting it the way they want it, and they're going to lie to people who don't know better to get their way. To tweak on that feeling. Tweaking on that feeling, right? That's what this is about. So we get all the way down to the park, and here's this covered place with all these chairs out of the sun. Do we head down to those covered chairs out of the sun? No, we don't. We're standing up on a grassy knoll, no pun intended, about 100 feet behind the ceremony in the sun. They got 65-year-old men standing there in the sun. And even me, it was hard to stand there on uneven ground. And who's sitting in the chairs? The football team from 1984. Happy Veterans Day. We're so proud you can be here. And they gave their little speech about how they were because the senator's aide happened to be in that class. She hijacked and stole. I wish that was the only offensive thing about that Veterans Day. I wish it was. But it wasn't the only offensive things. And they put the Veterans of Foreign War float at the end of the parade. The very last float. What was ahead of it was this very elaborate float of a table that was being thrown up and beer bottles flying in the air on the wire, whiskey bottles flying in the air on the wire. PTSD, it's real. We could not chase down the owner of that float. We go to the parade manager who's got a clipboard. It's like, who owns that float? I don't have that sheet. Walked off. We never found that guy again. The guy that was running, who was in it? For some reason, the city didn't know. The parade organizer didn't know. No one knew who had that offensive-ass float in the Veterans Day parade. Veteran Day is not about alcoholism. Do some veterans become alcoholics? Sure do. Do they lose their temper? Hell yeah. I'm doing it right now. Completely stone cold sober. Folks, you've got to learn to say enough's enough. And this election by popular vote was that. And my last one about me being mad the day after the election, I'm not done being mad. Because the Republican Party has abandoned the state of New Mexico. We have violated the U.S. constitutional laws with our own constitutional amendments. There might be something that I swore to uphold. I can't remember quite what that swear was, that oath that I took. Do you understand that the reason for the Second Amendment is when you fail to use the First Amendment? Do the Republicans understand that you can't just do some of it because that part looks a little easier and we can win on the margins? You won on the margins. I'm tired of hearing about a 2.2% victory being a sweep. You left 48% of the country behind. Do you get that? You left 48% behind. They're uneducated. They don't know. And they've been gaining ground until they completely screw up somebody's life and force them to pay attention. They've been gaining ground. I remember when the communist view, which is what is going on the left, was 20% of the vote. What Donald Trump just did was a feat 5 times greater than what Ronald Reagan did. It ain't about style or performance or anything else. Reagan only had to fight a country that thought 20% thought communism was the way to get out of the world. You got to remember back when Reagan was doing it, the Kennedys were on TV getting caught in a hot mic with the Russians saying, as soon as we get rid of that Reagan guy, we'll be right there with you. I wonder if anybody here recently has been on the side of the Russians. Guys, it's not hard to figure out that money is the form of politics. The problem is figuring out where the money comes from. All right? I've got to say the ground game for the Trump is he's learned his lessons. If you haven't paid attention, get off of your favorite news channel that doesn't scare you. Go over to Fox News and then start realizing that they don't tell you the whole truth. Okay? Fox News, right out of the gate, started doing the exact same thing they did to trash Trump the first 4 years. Went straight to somebody on Twitter, quoted them, and made that the story. Random people on Twitter are not news. Random people on Twitter is the way to take an editorial stance and make it your own. It's a form of lying. Folks, the First Amendment is first. I fully believe it. But the Second Amendment is there. It is not about guns. It's about power. Physical power. Erase the word guns from the Second Amendment. The people shall have enough physical power to remove their power-grabbing politicians who are taking freedoms from their life beyond what the Constitution says they're allowed to do. And they've been doing it. We've been letting them. We go to this library full of laws and ignore those first few pages we wrote down back in history. Well, those don't apply no more. That was 200 years ago. Well, they've been around for 200 years. Have you read them yet? How about we start there? Have you read them yet? Oh, I read them. They don't apply to today. The world has changed. It's morphed. People haven't changed. Their perspectives are skewed by bullshit. And right now, too many people sitting on TikTok while they're supposed to be working right now, watching me. You're getting your views from China. So this little thing about banning TikTok, oh my God, I'm out here saving the world for farming on TikTok. Really? How about we not take a farmer's kid's land away when their dad dies? Maybe that would save farming and not TikTok. Maybe the land China's buying next to the military base is up for sale because a Democrat has an inheritance tax. Right? We need, and right now the Democrat governors are like, we're going to save our state from Donald Trump. You're going to save your state. Oh my God, my nose itches. You're going to save your state from its own constitution that it swore to uphold. That's what you're going to save the state from. Property. It can't be taken away unless you fail to pay $2 in taxes. Oh, in some states, hey, we have homeowners associations. Did somebody's husband die and the wife doesn't know how to mow the lawn? Well, that's a $200 fine for the lawn not being mowed. And then the homeowners association takes a $300,000 house that was paid off over a $200 fine that wasn't paid. Because grandma's not paying attention to the mail. She just lost her husband. There's your Democrat world. How about you not continue to want to live like that? Wouldn't you like what you earn that you take home because you paid for it? They already took the taxes from your check, right? That was the greatest scam that ever took place in American taxation. Tax the money before you get it, then you're never missing it. The greatest scam in American taxation. Not new. It's how Europe's banking system operates. It's now how our banking system operates after 1980, post-1980. The Democrats in Congress rewrote the rules to our banking system. Slowly, one little rule at a time. Money is missing. You don't know what's gone. You don't even know what no one on TV talking about finances has said the word turn on a dollar in 25 years. How to make a dollar earned in a community stay in a community. They don't even want it to stay in the state. How fast can we pump your money to Washington? Hey, your local city council down there that just got elected, how fast can they put a sales tax in and get the next Walmart or the next national food chain in your town to pump money out of your town to some other state's national corporation, nationwide corporation? You don't need a KFC. You don't need a Walmart. You don't need Amazon. You want to talk about tariffs? It should be tariffs on the pain of money leaving your community at the most local of levels. Them trying to redefine what tariffs are. Tariffs are a negotiating tactic to stop political parties, in this case China, from taking money from a community where it needs to create a turn on the dollar for that community to have hope of thriving. I bet you didn't hear that on CNN. Guys, Martyr's Day. If you're somebody who's participating in Martyr's Day or Veterans Day, or you're one of these families like, oh, my sailor died on XX dates, I'm going to go line the city. Don't do that. That's what today's about. We have, and I hate to say it, on Memorial's Day, a beautiful ceremony for lost veterans. It's called the Missing Man Ceremony. Chokes me up, right? If you've never attended a Missing Man ceremony to honor veterans who have died, then you don't know the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Yes, good trolling there, Vincent, and this is what we have to listen to, right? Is my nurse here? Yes, she is. She's staying the hell out of my way today. Because I've watched the news and I'm not happy. I keep watching the news. Fox News is on a tirade. They are trying to set the table for a man named Paul Ryan, who left Congress because Donald Trump was elected. Took 50 Republicans with him and gave power to the Democratic Party to create a false narrative using the media. Money flows abound around this false narratives. And yes, you guys may be wise to money flowing abound. But you've got to get right down to your city council member. I stayed completely silent during the election cycle. Well, not completely. But I'm in a state where the Republican Party is run by Democrats, where the veterans of foreign wars at the state level conspire with the federal government to deny benefits to veterans, where the state writes medical rules that say the doctors don't have to do this care, don't have to do that care. You're all watching FEMA get caught, put in writing, hey, skip the house with the Trump signs. But how many times have I come on here and told you that there are people inside the VA who are hired strictly for the purpose of being political advocates during election cycles, and then that core being inside the VA falls over to our care? Where, hey, your primary care doctor sent over this requirement for you to go see this doctor. I called the one in your area. They didn't answer the phone. So they just dropped the requirement by my doctor to see that specialist. Is that how care is mandated? Do you think as a citizen that's what you pay for? Is for them to try one time and quit? Well, we're overloaded. There's more than 7,200 cars outside my VA hospital. They see less than 100 patients a day. They're all walk-in from around the western Texas. It covers a geographical area 1/4 the size of Texas. That one building does. And if we say it in that state, oh my God, why wouldn't they be overwhelmed? So we get 15 minutes a year worth of health care from our primary care. That gets rush shot real fast. That gets sent over to a secretary who has another time constraint. In addition, no one wants to take VA insurance for a very simple fact. The VA doesn't pay their damn bills. Why would you want to take that? And even when you do take it at the we're going to force you to prices from the Democrat Party, I'm appalled as a business owner, former business owner. I couldn't have operated my business on that, and I didn't have 5 people, helping me out as I walked in the building. I couldn't like that at that price. What they're paying these, I get a copy of what they wound up billing the doctor after every visit. I get a bill that says this has been paid. So the doctor wants $1,100, and you go, oh my God, $1,100. Hey, they have 7 people working in there. Start doing some hourly math of people who have kids. Got to buy shoes, school clothes. Oh, they're not all minimum wage workers? You didn't go raid the local McDonald's to run the hospital? You mean they have to pay for college? Oh my God. Did we turn around and say, hey, we're going to waive the college debt for anybody who went to a medical school? No, we didn't say that. We said, hey, here's a whole list of my friends who happen to help us around the election time who are a little burdened by their degrees in basket weaving and German art fair. That kind of stuff. So what are you going to do? Right? It's Veterans Day. Have a barbecue. It's not Combat Veterans Day. All right? No one's excluding every veteran on Veterans Day. But when a combat veteran organization organizes an event, have some respect. Not to list the amount of dead people you've heard about on a day they're trying to just enjoy time with their friends. Thank you very much for today's rant. Thank you for trolling, Vince.